Hi guys, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto, and we're taking a look at a 1992 Honda Accord Coupe, or Coupe as the Americans call it. And we're going to call it a coupe for the entire video here because this one here is probably one of the more special vehicles that we have sold. And you wouldn't notice it just by looking at it right here. It just looks like a standard Accord Coupe. Wait a second, Accord Coupe. And that in itself is kind of a rare thing because they don't have too many of these two-door versions left. This one here is just over 100,000 kilometers, has automatic transmission. But what's really special about this one is that it's not actually a Honda Accord. This one here is a Honda of America Accord, which has a key difference. This one is a Japanese car with Japanese registration, full Japanese everything, even Japanese writing inside, but is a left-hand drive car. Wow. Now, until we bought this car, I didn't even know this car existed. In fact, when we bought this one, I thought that this one was one that was just imported from the USA into Japan. I didn't realize that they actually made USA versions of the car that were available as kind of a prestige item here in Japan. Okay, so let's take a look up close. And this one was bought from a dealer, so we don't have an auction sheet. And so the Accord in the USA usually comes with a 2.2 liter 4-cylinder. Here in Japan, you get a 2 liter F20 engine. And I think that the reason why they went with a smaller engine is because a 2.2 would be higher road tax here in Japan than a 2 liter does. And it's a pretty simple decision if you think of it that way. Engine bay is super clean. And you have your own little chassis code here, Honda of American Manufacturing, CB6, and then it's a non-17 digit, made in the USA, so these were manufactured in Ohio, the same plant that made all of the USDM Accords. And yeah, wow, what a weird car. So really not that much special in here. The oil needs to be changed, the coolant needs to be changed. Come on, dealer, you should have done these things. Lower the hood here. Maserati's driving on my street. Who said you could drive on my street? Okay, so let's do it once around here before we get into the nitty-gritty of it. And pardon me, the light is a little bit low, so I'm going to go a bit slow so as not to be too blurry here. And let's just pick apart what this is exactly. And so what we have is, this car is going to be going to the USA, back to the country it was made in. And the person who owns this car is going to have the only one in the entire USA. And it's going to be a car that, to everyone on the road, almost literally everyone on the road, they won't realize that this is anything special at all. But the people who do know are going to be kind of surprised, like, wow, you are driving a Japanese left-hand drive version of a car in the USA. Basically, driving in the USA, what is it? A Japanese version of a USA car that's based on a Japanese car. It's sort of like the inception of cars. Now, I was reading up a little bit about it. The only sites I could find on this were basically in Japanese. And they only made them for a couple of years. And they're not exactly like the USA ones. Basically, they are just like a luxury trim. And then they put in the left-hand drive in order to, I guess, appeal to the Japanese market, who thinks left-hand drive is cool. So these headlights, these were the first clear headlights ever. We take clear headlights for granted, but back then, I remember when these headlights came out and I was like, wow, amazing. Well, they were the first ones in North America. I think they had them in Japan before that. And this Accord is basically known as the car that never dies. And so with 100,000 kilometers on it, this will probably last you another 400,000 kilometers. The paint on the outside is in generally okay condition. It looks like it needs a polish and a shine, especially one of the fenders is brighter than the other ones, and the rest are kind of cloudy, as you can see here. And then the side bumper or molding is a bit different color. Not a bit, a lot different color, and so that could use a nice painting. It's running the original wheels with almost new tires. They look like 99.99% tread on them, and they are 2014, so probably hasn't been driven very much recently. Okay, now I have driven this car. And it drives really nicely. I'm just laughing. There was a person in the comments last week who said, "I don't believe you have a dealer plate because you don't put it on the car." And so I said, you know, I take them down because I don't particularly want to have our dealer's plate number to be posted on the internet. And he was like, "No, don't believe you. Don't think that you have one." And this is the same guy who comments a lot on our videos about weird things like this. And so I'm just going to say to that person, if you're concerned about stuff like that, you should probably ask your source of information who's giving you these things, because if he's wrong about the dealer plate, which it's right there, then you're probably wrong about other things too. But I'm not ready to get into a catfight with somebody who's just needlessly saying incorrect information like that. Anyway, back to the car. Glass sunroof, window vents, visors, pardon me. And the same thing with the moldings here on this side. So both of the door ones are a little bit weird. The paint color is a dark gray. It actually is quite nice. And then if you look here, ta-da! Honda of America, Manufacturing Incorporated. You have it there, and slight side note, Bose speakers. I don't think those were available in the US ones, and I don't know if this interior was available in the USA ones. Did they have leather in this generation of Cord? I don't know. Look at the steering wheel, has the same badge on it. Now I believe it's the same steering wheel because the badge looks to be the same size and same shape as a Honda badge, but it says Honda of America Manufacturing on it. And then you also get that down here, Accord Honda of America. Okay, and so power windows, which I think were on the USA versions of the cars, leather door inserts. They replaced this one with the wrong color one. You can see over there, it's supposed to be purple. Okay, the leather seats are in good shape. There is a little bit of discoloration in the driver's side at the shoulder, you can see right there, but no rips in them. And then some slight cracking down there as well. And so a good shop will be able to tidy those up for you. Even a bad shop could probably do it. Power seats, all checked, all good, very nice. And only power seats for the driver, because who cares about the passenger apparently. Cruise control. Weird for a Japanese car of 1992, it doesn't have automatic climate control AC. And so that's how you know it's a USA spec. Almost all 92 cars had climate control where you'd set the temperature. Here you have to do everything yourself, and the AC does work. In fact, mechanically everything works on the car except the engine shakes a tiny bit when you go into the R or the D, because the RPM usually drops, and as you can see there, it's already at like 750. It'll drop down to about 500 or so. And part of my sniffles, I am quite sick right now. It's not fun to be working while sick. Unless you're looking at this car, in which case it's okay. Alright, so pull this forward. Ooh, so nice leather seats in the back. Brake floor mats. And it looks like it says 6 seats back here. I would like to know if anyone in the US is watching this and they own one of these generation of Accords, what all the differences are, because I never see the USA DM versions of cars like this anymore, and I haven't lived in Canada for over 10 years now. And so it's a car that I didn't know very well when I was in Canada, so it's hard for me to compare it to it. Okay, move the seat back. And then just gonna show this. Have a look here, the cruise control buttons are in Japanese here. Also the shift lock, that's in Japanese. I think the gauges are all in English though. So 109,099 kilometers. Okay, we don't buy too many cars from the dealers. Something like this would really be impossible to get from the auction. And so you'd have to get it from the dealer. There's one small dent. Take a look right there. Can you see it? Yeah, that's the only dent on the body. That's really nice to know, because when you buy from the dealers, you never really know. I mean, you can ask them, and some dealers are going to be honest and some dealers won't. Okay, so wow, what a car. Someone in the US is going to be driving a car that nobody else in the US literally has. And since they only made these for 2 years and I've never seen a single one here in Japan, I think even if you drove one here in Japan, it would be kind of one of the only ones that's still left on the road. And so something super unique. I think it's really cool that I'm still learning about cars like this even after all of these years. There are still cars that I don't know about, especially ones that are right in front of your face, like a version of an Accord. So very cool to see this. I'm glad that people can appreciate this. And so thanks everyone for watching, and I hope you have a great day.